Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to be using 3 different Tumblr posts that I think were really good to understand how sun signs and like sister signs polarities they are as like concepts when you're getting into the astrology community. Like I said in the first video of this series, there are a lot of different avenues that you can go to get knowledge on astrology, and I want to kind of like include all of those that I have come across in these videos that I may create for you guys, because I think like just going to one source is not always the best way, because everybody has different interpretations, and like combining all of those to broaden your understanding is very important. So I am going to be talking about these 3 different posts that I found, and I'm going to put those in the description, and I'm also going to be going off of the all about what is it called, the only astrology book you'll ever need, and those are basically going to be those 2 different things that I'm going to be using to create this video. So the next group that we're going to get into are, guess it, Taurus and Scorpio. So Taurus is the sign of personal possessions, whereas Scorpio is the sign of shared or inherited possessions. So basically, what does this mean? If you've ever met a Taurus is very sensitive about their things, okay? They don't want anybody touching their things. They don't want somebody messing it up. They have something a certain way. They want that shit to stay that way. Like they are those element of earth, stable, and want things to be fixed signs, okay? And Scorpio is also a fixed sign, and they are also concerned with possessions, but just differently. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is a planet of transformation, inheritance, whether that be money or any other material possession. So Scorpio is inheriting those things, but they are still very concerned about what those things are, and they're very concerned about protecting those things. Both of these signs are protectors. They just go about in a different way, okay? So in this world, Taurus is the sensual creator and Scorpio is the intimate healer. Taurus is the sensual creator and Scorpio is the intimate healer. What does this mean? So Taurus lives for beauty. They are also ruled by Venus, and so Venus is concerned with material things, and to a certain extent, whether that be gifts, with that's your love language, or what else could that be? Money. You might hear a lot of people that are like Venus, like take like maybe like a Venus dominant Capricorn. What does this mean? Venus dominant meaning you have a lot of Venus energy in your chart, and Scorpio, no, not Scorpio, Capricorn. Capricorn is another sign ruled by Saturn, and Capricorn is a very like work driven person. So you might hear of like a Capricorn with a lot of Venus influence that you might label as like a gold digger. And why would you label them as a gold digger? Because one, they're very concerned with this material thing, money, or whether it be vacations, whatever it is that they're getting from that person that they're gold digging. And then Capricorn is also concerned with like reputation, which is a big thing of Saturn. So how does this relate to Taurus? Taurus also lives for this beauty and this possessions that they may have, whether they got them themselves or whatever you may come up with. But Scorpio is a little bit different. They're not necessarily concerned with the possessions themselves, but the transformation that you go through with these things. So let's say I don't know, maybe, and they're also linked with Pluto being the planet of transformation. They also link Pluto with death. If you don't believe in that, that's fine, because I think that's also a very common misconception. When you hear about Scorpio, you're constantly thinking about depression, death, blah blah blah. But transformation can be whatever way you want. It can be good or for bad. But let's take this example of death. So Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, is a planet of transformation, the sign of transformation. And when you hear about Scorpio being like an intimate healer, Scorpio are the signs that really want to like learn a lot about a person. So you might meet a Scorpio and they might be very interested in like psychology or just like how people work. It might be the person that constantly is asking you questions, like personal questions. You're like, why are you in my business? It's because that's just the type of sign that they are. Don't ask them about themselves, because they probably won't share those intimate things about themselves until they feel very comfortable with you, which is also very like a Taurus, and how these 2 can be related in that way as sister signs, okay? But let's go back to this concept of being a healer. Scorpio Scorpio is constantly trying to help people in the best way that they know how, especially people that they're very close with. So if somebody's going through something, they might want to help them and help them heal and grow in that way, being ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and growth. Okay, so Taurus is the same way. They are very, very, very loving people, and they always want to make sure that the people that they care about are taken care of, and that there's nothing really going on with them. So they might be the people that are trying to fix a situation too, and that's how these two sister signs can be related to each other. So how can these two signs help each other out? You can help each other out by basically balancing each other out. A Taurus might be very linked to their possessions, and a Scorpio might be very linked to their possessions but get to a very obsessed way of loving these things that they have. And by meeting each other, they can help balance each other out. Like, listen, I love the things that I have too, but that doesn't mean that I have to focus all of my energy on it, because we are the signs that are supposed to heal and help people go through life, and we can't do that if we're constantly obsessing over this one thing. Okay, so this creativity that Taurus has, being ruled by Venus, is also combined with this Scorpio like magic energy of healing. That's how these two can help each other out also. And finally, ownership becomes heritage. You might have like a Taurus mom and a Scorpio mother, and like I just realized that I did this like how do you say, homogeneous relationship, and I'm okay with that. But you know, whatever type of relationship you have, whether you don't represent pronouns or whatever, you might have two parents, a Taurus and a Scorpio, and a Taurus might have a lot of like wealth or a lot of land, and then Scorpio might have a lot of this too, and they might be like, okay, listen, well, I inherited this too from my parents, or I might have worked hard for this, and I also want to have kids, and give this to my kids so they can inherit this too, keep this cycle going. We have a lot of possessions, let's get this shit going. Like, maybe let's start a business. Taurus is also very business driven, being an earth sign, and Scorpio might want to get into that too. So you can also help each other that way. Just make sure that this work that you're getting into, this partnership, love, inheritance that you want to give other people, whatever it is not created to be an obsession. Because if you're obsessed with something, then you can't exactly put all of the energy that you have into it, but you're constantly obsessing and thinking about it and trying to protect it, when what you really need to be doing is growing together. So that's Taurus and Scorpio.